You're listening to Midlife State of Mind podcast, hosted by Erin, a midlife gal who dishes on all the challenges and opportunities that come with this middle section of your life. Each episode, you'll find yourself going between laughter and tears as she covers all the topics you need to know about midlife.
Welcome back to Midlife State of Mind. I'm your host, Erin Beadle. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is my last episode for the podcast for 2023. It is so hard to believe that 2023 is already coming to a close. Seems like it just started. Just as for most of you, I'm sure some days are rather long, and then it seems as though the weeks and the months fly by. If you're a new listener, I would love to have you hit the follow button so that you can stay in the loop whenever an episode drops. And if anything that I share resonates with you, I would be immensely grateful for you taking the time to give me a rating and a written review on whatever podcast platform you listen to me on. Something that's been on my mind a lot lately, and it's especially apt this time of year as most people start thinking about resolutions and intentions for the coming year, is this idea of celebrating the start of something. Oftentimes, our culture and our society cheers more for the completion of a project or the end of something, like reaching the goal, rather than the actual cheering of the start of something. And I think, especially in midlife, when we can get really comfortable in our routines and our habits, it can be hard to start something. I think there's lots of reasons that we have a tendency to hesitate in starting something. Sometimes it can be a time issue. It can be just an energy issue. But I think oftentimes we focus so much on the ending, and it seems so overwhelming and daunting that we don't even want to start because we just feel like it's just too hard to actually get started. One of my favorite motivational people is Mel Robbins, and she shared something. It's been several years and I've used it many times. It doesn't have an actual name, but it's where she counts down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off, you do it. So if ever I'm procrastinating and getting started with something, and if I put it off and then I'm just like, it has to get done, or I need to get it done, I just say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and just do it. Another reason that I think that we have a tendency to get hung up on starting something is because we worry about if we'll fail and what that will look like. We don't want to be made a fool of. We don't want to look silly. But I think that one of the bravest things we can do is begin something, whether it's running a race, whether it's starting a project in our home. I recently had some artwork that I needed to put up in my house, and I just kept putting it off because worried that if I didn't like where it ended up or how it was going to look. And finally, I just had to say, you know what, even if I don't like it, I can just move it. But I think that's often what we do is we overthink things. And so then we get caught up in that story of what if it doesn't turn out the way we want it to turn out? And we get so caught up in all of that we miss the beauty in just starting something, even if it is something that we don't finish. So as we close out this year of 2023, I just want to leave you with that thought of maybe just showing up for yourself. Starting something that you've always wanted to do and just been maybe overwhelmed by or just talked yourself out of. So maybe in 2024, instead of focusing on the finish line, you'll focus on the start line and you'll just do that thing. Show up for yourself. Be brave. Hope you all have a wonderful holidays and new year, and I will see you in 2024. Bye now.
This has been an E Squared production.